Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now, when we are talking about learning and education, nowadays there are multiple ways in which the learning can be imparted to the children. We surely want the children to read, we surely want the children to learn. But we have to respect the fact that every child has got individual and unique characters, have got their own learning style, and we can make them strong and better equipped with the learning styles if more of situations where their learning style is in picture is brought to the fore. Over a period of time, it has been experienced that those children who have trouble in learning something, even if you use flashcards for them, you use some picture books or textbooks which are bright and colorful, they are not going to help them at all. Rather will confuse them. They would not be able to identify the numbers or the alphabets and learn anything because no retaining is going to take place in their memory. So one has to understand the psychology, the learning techniques of the children, and then prepare their timetable, their reading activities, their curriculum, and the different aspects of their studies. We in this section are going to learn about the different methods that can be utilized by the teachers, by the educators, by the organizations in order to ensure that the learning takes place more productively and efficiently than ever. Now these techniques or this is going to help one identify what they are good at. It is going to help the teacher learn better about the learner and get to know which style of teaching is more suitable for some age group and which is not suitable for this age group. For example, I cannot teach a class 12 child using a colorful book which has got just pictures and alphabets in them. Similarly, I cannot produce this textbook of education to a grade 1 child. So it is through these methods and techniques only that one can get to know the best possible ways of imparting education to the learners. And obviously we are going to learn about these techniques. If you look at this diagram, these are all the techniques that can be used. First of all, what is memletic styles? Now, memletic styles is basically a learning program, that promises what is so those, that program which is initiated, which is structured, which is designed to help the people, to help the learner improve their learnings, improve their mental abilities, such techniques as memletic styles. Now, memletic styles can either be social, something which is done in group, or something which is solitary, something that you can only do alone. And it has got further stratas: visual, something that we see and learn; logical, that requires your cognitive skills to learn; verbal, when you speak and learn; physical, when you are reading through a book or a study material; and oral, when you hear something and learn. So these are all the techniques that can help you learn better and can help you get a better hold of things around. Let us look at these techniques in detail. First, as I said, visual. So visual is when the learning, when the teaching takes place with the help of pictures, with the help of some visual aids. The early years of education, this technique is used mostly. Those in grade 1, 2, lower KG, upper KG, the preschool, pre-primary, their books are always illustrated. They have more of pictures and less of explanation, right? So this is one of the criterias of imparting a better learning to the learners. We see comics also, the graphic novels, where less written and more picture illustration is used. So sketchbooks, colored books, the graphic novels, comics, all these are the ways of imparting learning by looking at them. Next, as I said, is oral, which is by way of sound or music. Again, the early readers, the early learners, if you know, for them sound is very important. A teacher has to repeat, has to speak something, and the students repeat after the teacher. The teacher says A for apple, the students repeat A for apple. This repetition takes place again and again, and by way of hearing, the students are able to retain that in their mind and are able to remember that. Then comes verbal technique. Verbal means when you speak something or when you write something. This is again both for the early learners as well as for the late, for the middle group and for the senior students as well. You must have got this advice from your parents when you are preparing for your exam, that always write and learn. After learning, once we have written some answer on our own, we are able to retain that answer in our mind for a longer duration. Or when we repeat that, the answer that we are learning, when we repeat that, when we speak that loudly, it is going to help you get better, help you learn that answer better. The verbal technique is another style. Then we have physical. As I told you, when there is something that you touch, okay? You have a book in your hand, you use puppets to teach the students, you show the students to halve the books, to make a unit. So something that has got a touch related to it, okay? Using props, using costumes, using books, anything that will help you get the attention of the learners towards yourself is the physical technique of learning. Then we have the logical technique. Again, for this, you need to apply your cognitive skills, your brain. These are those styles which are delivered best to the learners with the help of logic, with the help of reasoning skills, with the help of systems. Those books, those questions which are going to motivate the child to be better equipped with the logical training is always going to be found interesting by the child. Rather than giving a simple question to which the answer will be easy to find, such children will always be interested in finding answers which are difficult and which require them to use their brain. Next, we have social, as I told you. These are those people who love to study in groups. We have the concept of peer tutoring these days. You must have heard about it. Rather than studying alone, these students prefer studying with their best friend, with their sibling, be it younger or elder, or in groups, because they think that learning in group is better because you are able to garner more experiences and more solutions to a problem. On the other hand, there may be some people who prefer to learn alone, and for them, self-study is the whole and sole solution to everything. So, social and solitary, as we told you about, are the two diverse classification of learning styles. One can either study alone or can study in group. When a teacher wants her learners to be most efficient and strong and powerful and capable, she has to ensure that her teaching methodology is a combination of a few techniques stated by me. Just something visual put to them, shown to them is not going to help. Visual combined with oral can be done. Logical combined with, let's say, visual. First, the teacher shows how to solve a logical reasoning question and then tells them to solve it. So we need to find good combinations in which something can be made to the interest of the children. So that's the aim of education, which is to derive the best possible answer, to find a solution, to get the maximum learning is. So obviously we know that there can be some topics which have some better styles. There can be some other topics which can be taught to some other style. So as I said, the teacher has to be very smart and, active, and has to be very insightful and thoughtful with respect to what teaching methodology she is using to impart her students with the best learning. So with this, my dear students, we come to the end of this topic, this unit, which was learning. What did we learn in this unit? We learned about what was learning. We learned about the fact that if your behavior changes, it does not mean that learning has taken place or that no learning has taken place. Learning leads to more permanent changes in a person. There can be variation in learning depending from learner to learner. More inventions, more solutions ought to be found by the learner himself if he wants to be a better athlete. We learned about the theories of four famous psychologists. We learned about the classical conditioning theory, the operant conditioning theory, Thorndike's trial and error theory, and Gestalt's theory of insightful learning. We learned about the educational implications of all of them, about the mechanism that led them to, to the aim or to the functionality of their